Greetings and salutations, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Fantasy Warfare. I'm your host, XLJ, the OG, and today we've got another exciting episode of Fantasy Warfare coming to you. This is a topic we've been wanting to do for a while. Today, we are going to pair arguably the two most popular eras in professional wrestling against each other. We're talking the Golden Era versus the Attitude Era. And this is also a very exciting episode because we have two guests who have never been on this show before or on World Championship Wreckage. So first join us. You know him, you love him from TikTok and everywhere else in between. The Michael Wayne. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. How's it going?
Doing wonderful. Glad to have
Good.
you. And also excited to have for the first time with us another amazing creator, another amazing person in the professional wrestling business. Let's bring in ring announcer Aaron. Aaron Ross, how are you, good sir?
I'm doing well, my friend. Just excited to be here and ready to have a good time. And I really feel like that I haven't done my research like I should have. So I'm gonna be winging a lot of this here, but I'm excited.
Okay.
I'll admit it maybe took me 20 minutes to make mine, but I made it like a month ago.
When we were supposed to be doing this originally.
Well, this is going to be a fun episode, and I'm really excited too because this is the first time on this show where we have two combatants going up against each other who are actively in the business. So this is going to be exciting to see. We're glad to have you both on here. That being said, gentlemen, are you ready to get underway with Fantasy Warfare?
I'm ready.
All right.
Did you say nah?
Nah.
I'm out.
Everyone's got
I'm
to
out.
say yes.
Well, Michael, I will start off with you, sir. First and foremost, do you have a name for your show? Do you have a venue in mind?
I did not actually. None whatsoever.
Oh, all right, that's fine.
Yeah, it's the writer in me. Yeah.
Well, hey, we might as well just get into the meat and potatoes of this. What would be your opening contest on this card?
So every card, the first match needs to be the everyone stands up, the everyone gets excited match. And if there is an entrance song that gets everybody just, it's named after them. It's the Legion of Doom.
Oh,
Right.
Ooh.
You hear that? Oh, that's the way you start a show. And then I'm going to have them go against who I consider the greatest tag team of all time, the Dudley Boys.
oh my God! Like, man, Aaron,
Like,
he's coming out of the
arguably-
gate.
Yeah. Like if you could name, you can name maybe one other tag team that should be in that, top two. You are hard pressed though.
Yeah.
Hard pressed. It's also four guys that are going to go in there and beat the hell out of each other.
Yeah, this could easily, this matchup here, it's either opening the show or it's main event the show. It ain't
Yeah.
anywhere in between, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
God, dude, I love that. Like that, just like you said it, man. These are easily the two greatest tag teams of all time. But we got to know who's going over.
It's got to be the Dudleys. It has to be the Dudleys. I thought about it and I thought about it and I could not. I just couldn't get over it. Both teams had a DDD, a 3D, whether it be the 3D or the Doomsday device, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But in the end, Dudley's got to take that. Dudley's have to take that win.
Let me ask you this: is there any cornermen in either of these the teams? Like, do we got Paul Ellering? Do we got
Paul Ellering, and then
Burt
every other Dudley you can possibly think of. Dances, sign guy, all of them. Every single one of them. Spike, Big D. Not gonna say that. I don't want to get you canceled or anything. I'm sure there's another like 13 or 14. I can't remember, but yeah.
All right, man, that's a hell of an opener. Aaron, I'm going to come to you, my friend. What would be your opening contest?
So my opening contest, I like where you were. We're talking about the things that get the people popping and stuff. But for me, I think to get the people popping, I got to go with a high flyers match. And it was not even really a high flyers, but a very good technical / high flying match. And I'm going Owen Hart versus Chris Jericho.
Ooh,
That's good.
that's good.
I see where you're talking about that. They're high flyers, but they're not
Right.
high flyers. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, that would be a dream matchup for Jericho.
Yeah.
I mean, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, gentlemen, I don't think they ever crossed
No.
paths, right?
No.
I don't believe they did.
Never the same company.
How crazy
Yeah.
is that?
Yeah.
Oh.
Jericho would have trained maybe started a year or so before Owen passed. Maybe a little bit before that. But
yeah, I don't think. Yeah, I don't think they ever really crossed paths there at all.
That's insane to think about. Like with Jericho, especially having so much, respect, and Owen was one of his idols. So,
yeah,
God, that both of you have some of the most magnificent openers I've seen on this show. I gotta admit, but Aaron, I gotta ask you, who is going over?
That's a hard one. I mean, it really is. But
which Jericho are you going with?
That's a good.
I'm going
because he was like 4 different Jerichos during the Attitude Era.
It would be debut Y2J Jericho. So, I would go. I would go with Jericho in a hard fought 20-minute battle down to the last minute, 30 seconds left on the clock, and Jericho gets the win.
Ooh, I love that. Like, give it a 20-minute time limit. You go 1930 or 1959, whatever, man. That'd be great.
Very television title.
Yeah, and the thing about it is with that match, typically in an opening match, you want it to kind of be in and out, going and going and going. But that would be the match that you really could start off hot with the show, and you could run them for 20 minutes, and the fans will be on their feet for the whole match.
Oh yeah, yeah, that would be. Oh, that's such a great opener, man. I love it. All right, I'm gonna keep the momentum with you, Aaron. So, what in the world's gonna follow Owen and Jericho?
Following Owen and Jericho, I think it's going to be a battle of the hard heads, the battle of a couple big guys, and maybe not necessarily one big guy, but 2 hard-hitting individuals. That would be Haku of the Golden Era versus Vader of the Attitude Era.
Holy shit, dude! Let's go. I see Michael's over here, like
my heart.
Oh my god! Between Haku's chops and Vader's punches, Jesus! Like you talking about a boss fight, and literally 2 men, men tougher than a $2 steak. Like holy crap! Like that, dude. You saying you didn't do research? Shit, you're coming out of the gate with 2 bangers, man. That's
I promise you, I did not do research at all.
Well, this is, oh my god, I am salivating at this matchup. Like, man, you talk about meat versus meat. Holy shit. Yeah. God, man, who in the world's going over in that one?
Nobody.
Okay,
nobody. It's going to go to they're going to brawl to the outside and they're going to be counted out.
Oh, or count out. Okay.
Yeah.
We gotta keep them strong. We gotta do that dusty finish. I like it.
Yeah. And you're gonna need the agents to come out and break it up.
Oh, okay. Damn, that's a solid 1-2 punch. Mike, I'm coming back to you, buddy.
All right, now
LOD and Dudley's.
If you thought that was a tough match, if you thought that was a ridiculously oh dear God brawl, I want you to think 2 of the best friends in all professional wrestling history that just so happens to both have spanned both eras. So I got to choose one in the Golden Era and then the version in the Attitude Era. I'm taking one fabulous Moolah versus Mae Young. All right.
Oh,
okay.
That is the match everybody wants to see. If there was a women's dream match, it is that match. Now, just imagine the Dudleys go over, the Dudleys are walking out, and then Mae Young just kind of at Bubba as she walks by. I think I remember that guy. Did I have a hand with him? No, it was the black guy. Oh, my bad. Of which case though, Moolah's definitely going over. She's dirty.
Oh, yeah.
Like there's no way. And Mae Young puts everybody over. So yeah, definitely
She
Moolah going over.
did
Super
like
dirty.
to lay on her back a lot, I gotta say.
Yeah.
But we love you, Mae. R.I.P.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Gosh.
That's an interesting dynamic there. You see, and it's crazy to think, but like, I mean, Mae, you gotta say, Mae's most height of popularity was during the Attitude Era.
It was, and
you're right. No, you're right.
Yeah, and conversely, Moolah, holding that title for God knows how many years at that point, ended during the Golden Era. She was the most important, positive or negative, depending on how you look at it, female wrestler up until Wendy, really,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. That's a solid. I love that. That's a great follow up. But let's keep that momentum going. What's the third match on your card?
Are you going to me again?
Yep.
Oh, okay. We're slowing this one down now. Like
Okay.
this one's slowing way down. All right. Two of the most psychologically just mess with you guys you've ever seen in your life. Jake the Snake Roberts from the Golden Era.
Okay.
Versus Goldust of the Attitude Era.
Oh.
If you could think of two guys that would mess with your mind in completely different ways, but still get the same result. Guys that never got their just desserts when it came to titles, ever. It's almost like Jake had a little more success to, Goldust, but it's more of that, I'm forgotten more than you kind of thing. And it's almost a fight from the bottom to, get to the bottom in a sort of way. But the mind games would just be crazy, ridiculous over. Jake with a DDT. Yeah, Goldust is probably not wearing much at the end of that match, but Jake definitely over with the DDT.
So can I ask you this, like, which kind of interpretation of Goldust? Because I mean, Goldust also another guy who had multiple characters.
I was thinking the early Gold with Marlena.
Okay,
like
that's kind of what I envisioned too. Yeah.
Like I thought about the super creepy Dom with Luna, but I was like, no, we'll just go the super early version.
Yeah, I love that. Like, and man, God, both great workers, like you say, some of the great psychologists in pro wrestling history. So that matchup writes itself. That's awesome. All right, Aaron, I'm coming back to you, buddy. What is the third matchup on your show?
It is time to go to the tag team division. And from the Golden Era, I'm going to go with Demolition.
Ah, yes.
Taking on from the Attitude Era, and for those with the benefit of flash photography, Edge and Christian.
Yo, let's go. That is, one thing I love about this show is like these matchups get presented and it's like just, you didn't even think about it until you say them out loud.
No.
And it's just like, that's one of those matches like, yeah, I do want to see that. Like, oh, the hijinks and antics of Edge and Christian.
Just pissing off Demolition.
Yeah, which Demolition to me is one of my all-time favorite tag teams. They don't get nearly enough love.
No, I agree with that.
I love Demolition, one of the best tag teams of all time. Far from a Road Warriors ripoff, as they were, often are referred to. But Demolition, the Axer and the Smasher going after Edge and Christian. Okay, who's going over in that one?
This one, I have to give the edge to Demolition.
Oh yeah.
Just hitting that backbreaker elbow combo off the top. One of my favorite moments all time in wrestling was WrestleMania 6 when Demolition win the tag team championships against Andre and Haku. Now, obviously, Andre was on the downside of his career at that point, but hearing that crowd pop when they won those tag team championships, that was one of my favorite moments. Like, I get goosebumps thinking about it. And it was one of the first tag teams I got to see live too. So,
oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. It was, it was one of the first tag teams. I'll give you a little bit of background here. My father, when I was younger, used to work for one of the local television stations. Now he wasn't on air talent. He was one of their can't think of it. One of their programmers. So he would get free tickets all the time, and we'd go to one or two WWF events at Rupp Arena a year. And my very first one, Demolition was on the card, as was Ric Flair when he had just jumped over. So it was like such cool moments for sure.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. I love that. Is so cool. Like that. Yeah. Demolition. I think Demolition probably was my first real favorite tag team I liked as a kid, honestly. Like
and you really, and the thing about it was you're either a WCW or WWF kid. If you're a WCW kid, you're going to lean more toward the Road Warriors a little bit. If you're a WWF kid, you're kind of leaning into Demolition a bit more, but not necessarily all the time either.
Yeah, that's a good point. All right, Aaron, I'm going to stay with you, my friend. What is the fourth match on your card?
Fourth match, we're going to go to the women's side. And someone who did not get enough of a due during her career in the WWF Golden Era, Leilani Kai.
Let's go.
Leilani Kai, amazing women's wrestler. She, I don't know. It was just, I felt like she stood out just a little bit more in the era that it was. So I liked her, and to go up against her from the Attitude Era, and this is toward the end of the Attitude Era since it ended about 2002, right?
Yeah.
Victoria.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's good. Another dude, that's amazing because that you talk about easily two of the greatest wrestlers of their era, two of I would say the most underutilized. Because I mean, the thing is, people, you go back to WrestleMania 1 and you think like about that historic women's championship match. You think Sydney Hawkins, you think Moolah, you think Wendy Richter. People tend to forget Leilani Kai was the champion going into that matchup. Like if you didn't have her as champion, like in my opinion, that matchup would not have worked. So she is long overdue for a Hall of Fame induction. She's one of the all-time greats. I mean, Victoria was just insane to watch in the ring. Like the maneuvers and the stuff she did, the physicality, like everything about Victoria was awesome. So this is tremendous. Who's going over in this matchup though?
I don't care who you are, whether you're a male wrestler, female wrestler, you get hit with that Widow's Peak, you're out. It's Victoria.
Yeah. Yeah.
You also kind of nailed both of the best female gimmicks of both of the eras.
Yeah, that's
you know,
a good
like
point.
truly, like in the golden, like think of any woman that had an actual gimmick. It was just, I'm Wendy Richter.
Right.
And that was
Leilani Kai had the Hawaiian Princess gimmick going.
You know?
Yeah.
And then like come Attitude Era, there were women that did different things and whatnot, but none of them wrestled the way Victoria did. None of them.
They didn't.
Very few. And the ones that could wrestle like her, Ivory, Jacqueline, didn't so much have a character outside of like, you know, Ivory's right censor. But, you know, so they kind of nailed both the best gimmicks too.
And I want to say on that too, you know, Victoria, I feel like she was kind of the one that would change the style of women's wrestling, you know, away from the diva style that everybody got to know. You know, she was a little bit more hard hitting. You know, again, that Widow's Peak maneuver was amazing. I was thinking about turning that into a triple threat though. I didn't do it, but I was thinking about it. I was thinking about throwing Lita into that mix.
Oh, that would have been good too.
But I couldn't pull the trigger on that.
I don't know. Something about it though. This matchup sounds a little bit more compelling to it. I think because
that's why I strayed away from that. Yeah,
it's a less is more situation.
Yeah, 100%.
For sure.
Dude, that's amazing. I love that matchup. All right, Mike, I'm coming back to you, buddy. What is your fourth matchup on your card?
So, first half main event. All right. I always look at it as if you're going to do some sort of crazy brawl that's going to make a mess, it better be the match before intermission because I don't want to clean it up after the main event. I don't want to do that. So we're going to have us a little Falls Count Anywhere outside the ring.
Okay.
With Bruiser Brody and Cactus Jack.
Oh my God.
Oh.
I don't know if Jack actually gets to survive. Because Brody's just throwing everything. Like everyone at the end is like, "Do I get my chair back? It's got to stay. Okay, it's got to stay on Cactus's head. That's fine." Definitely Bruiser over. They're probably like on top of the building. You see like a monster truck in the background just careening off the,
Do they make it up to the catwalk at some point?
Oh, dude, Cactus almost threw himself. Like, there's no way Bruiser would have had to do it. He'd have been like, I think we should start the match up there, you know? That's a good idea.
What are we doing, kid?
Yeah. He aims for the English announce table this time.
Shit. That's great. Oh, my God. That's one, too. You think about it. You talk about innovators of that style, too. My gosh. Like, Bruiser Brody and Cactus Jack, I mean, you don't get two bigger names as far as like brawlers.
Yeah.
And just great, phenomenal performers. Yeah, okay.
And very different brawlers too.
Oh yeah. When you think about it,
yeah.
Because Bruiser was and Cactus was that slow down and methodical.
Right. Yeah.
Methodical, you know.
Man.
I like that.
Man. That's a hell of a mid-main event, my friend. But so okay, I'm assuming we got intermission. We go to intermission. We come back. What are we kicking off the second half of your card with?
So you've already booked your man meat slapping and whatnot. I'm booking mine right here. You definitely took half my match. I'm okay with it. Still using it because it's a good match. I'm going Vader. Golden era, a little earlier Vader, you know, that Japanese Vader.
Ooh, okay.
Against the beast from the East, Bam Bam Bigelow.
Damn. Former partners, former champions. Oh my God.
Who's hitting that moonsault first? Who's hitting that moonsault first? You know? And you better pray they hit it because if they miss, there's going to be a hole in the ring.
Yeah.
They're throwing. But Bigelow's just a little faster. Ekes out that win. Vader goes for the splash. Bigelow rolls in towards the ropes. Vader lands. Moonsault for the win.
Amazing. Yeah, that's
beautiful.
Two of my favorite big man wrestlers of all time, honestly. Like, definitely on my Mount Rushmore for sure. They're right there. I love both those guys.
I wanted to do Kane so bad because he's my favorite big man of all time. But the two of them are just, it'd be so great. It'd been so great.
Well, and you think of the story too, with them both former being partners, you know, both former, you know, champion, IWGP tag champions. I mean, yeah, that's, I love it. That's amazing. Aaron, what would be the fifth match on your card?
Fifth match, we're getting into Gimmick Land. Are you ready?
Okay.
So, you remember quite a few years ago at WrestleMania 7, as there was a famous blindfold match.
Oh no.
I'm going Jake the Snake Roberts. And out of the Attitude Era, DDP, Diamond Dallas Page. Now, the reason this is kind of a different one.
Yes.
The reason why, I always like to have a gimmick throwaway match. That's just me. But with DDP and Jake the Snake, they both have the ability to hit that big move out of nowhere. That DDT, the Diamond Cutter, they can hit it out of nowhere. And you notice how quick each of them can put it on. So in that match, imagine these two going at it, and they're trying to figure out where each other are. And then all of a sudden, right in the center of that ring, DDP is able to get a hand on Jake the Snake, whip him around, cutter.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
I just picture because I'm now I like to think of myself as the Pat Patterson of the Indies because I'm a great finisher kind of guy. And I'm now imagining how DDP like goes for that diamond cutter, but Jake still somehow stops it, like almost lets DDP hit the mat, and then picks him up right away into the DDT.
Yeah, that'd be a good way to go.
But then DDP still just kind of, I can't describe it here. My green screen will fall over. But yeah, God, that'd be great. That'd be so cool. And just the two of them walking around, they bump into something, and he tries to diamond cutter the ring rope or something.
or he Jake tries to get the ref or something like that.
Yeah, ref's getting
so.
Definitely.
Dude, that's great. The I think maybe possibly too DDPY would give him the edge as well. Stretching around and shit. Although Jake's done it too. So, and that's a compelling story too. You could be like, DDP, save Jake's life essentially or whatever. And now it's like, you have this matchup. And it's like, yeah, I love everything about it. I never thought I would say on this show, I love a blindfold match.
Yeah.
Or ever. Period. I've never seen a good blindfold match.
They're so hard to do. The combatants haven't either.
But oh dear God. Yes, you're welcome for that layup. All right. I'll come back to you, Mike. What would be the sixth match on your show, buddy?
I'm stealing my second wrestler of the night. I'm also having my high flyer match. But my other guy is definitely a high flyer. You could say he's one of the highest flyers of all time. I'm going Owen Hart versus RVD.
Oh, that's good.
I had some ideas for Owen originally. I really wanted RVD on this period because I think of that era, he's probably the best technical flyer there ever, especially during the Attitude Era. He was doing stuff that just people were like, that's a video game move. What is he doing? The split mega moonsault and all that sort of jazz. But you watch the stuff with him and Jerry Lynn, he can get crazy technical at the same time.
Oh yeah.
So you take somebody that does the exact same thing from the golden era, a super young, straight out of Smoky Mountain, Owen Hart, and they're just going to have that crazy technical high flying that you saw with, RVD and Jerry Lynn. I got to give this one to Owen though. I will fight, and you're not going to like this, XL. I will fight. Owen is the better Hart.
I get it.
Yeah. Very respectfully, obviously. I'll keep the disrespect for when we're done. But I've got to go Owen Hart in this one. And RVD's definitely tapping out. He's definitely tapping out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I like it.
Because you wouldn't expect a submission finish between those two guys. So
I want to throw out a hypothetical to you guys.
Okay.
This is not anybody's match or anything, but what would you say to an Owen Hart versus Too Cold Scorpio match?
Ooh, I like it. Another guy who didn't get nearly enough credits. Too Cold Scorpio.
Amen. I don't know how Too Cold Scorpio isn't more important or was never given more.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah. If we talked WCW in this, he would be in the conversation all day long because that's where he shined. Was WCW and ECW. Yeah. He shined in both of those spots. It was it's like his style didn't fit what the Attitude Era was really putting out at that time.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you think Flash Funk was like the bullet to his career? Because
very well could have been
a goofy ass gimmick. And he came in at a time with that gimmick when really those type of gimmicks were really going away.
Yeah.
You're right.
Based, so
you're absolutely correct.
So coincidentally, I heard a story once that during his WCW days, Flash had tried to get into the WWF and originally pitched the Godfather gimmick. And that's what he wanted to come in and do.
Really?
Oh.
Okay.
So
Okay.
he'd pitched it to Bruce Pritchard, and I don't think it'll work.
Wow.
What's
And then,
Kama
sure
doing?
enough,
What's Kama doing now? You know,
right?
And then years later, if you look at what Flash Funk was, it's kind of a Dollar Tree Godfather.
You're not wrong. I mean, you
Yeah.
had the Funkettes.
You're right.
He had the Funkettes came out, you know, the dance and the, you know, whatever. Bad timing, bad luck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think the timing was good for it.
Yeah. But the high flying stuff he did, no one saw for years afterwards. You still don't see a lot of that stuff. You know, the moonsault.
He was so smooth.
Yeah, real.
He was so smooth in the ring.
It was so little effort.
Yeah.
I think when you think of the Attitude Era there, 98 is a crucial period. And I mean, he is there in the WWF, but it's just like he's on the opening card and it's just like,
who's he behind?
Right? I mean, I remember, I think they even wasn't he a tag team with Terry Funk for a minute? I think during that time, maybe. And then they had him in the Job Squad.
Yeah, they had him in the Job Squad. I remember that.
Yeah. Was it Terry?
I
remember him being in a tag team.
Remember.
I don't remember if it was Terry.
Because there was like there was like a weird time frame where you had like some just tag teams just thrown together. Like I think if I remember, Farouk was with God, it was way before Bradshaw. Oh man, he had like or maybe it was Farouk and Too Cold.
Hang on, I'm looking it up.
It could have been.
Well, remember, kids, if you always want to find something out, you can always Wikipedia that shit.
That's where I'm at right now, brother.
I love it.
He was Farouk Assad when he first started.
Yep. God, what a terrible game.
No, he went straight to the Nation. He went straight to the Nation after that.
Okay.
Well, I thought it was after he got kicked out of the Nation, though. Is when he kind of there was a little period where it was just like,
Oh, hang on.
Before he became an acolyte.
Before he became an acolyte and then APA, of course.
Maybe it was the two of them.
I
just remember they were like a. I love this. This is how.
There it is. There it is. After being dumped from the Nation feuded with The Rock and failed to win their Intercontinental title, Simmons then teamed briefly with Too Cold Scorpio.
There you go.
There it is.
That was the team. Yeah. So it was.
No offense to Scorpio, because obviously all three of us love him, but it's gotta suck to go from standing next to The Rock to standing next to Too Cold Scorpio.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like especially hindsight being 2020.
Right.
But I hear Farouk did okay for
himself. Moment.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Aaron, I'm gonna come back to you. What's the sixth match on your card?
Sixth match before my double main event.
Oh yeah.
It's going to be a technical match of sorts. As representing the Attitude Era, the man from the Red Hook section of Brooklyn, New York, Taz, takes on Robbinsdale, Minnesota's very own Mr. Perfect. The Perfect Plex versus the Taz Mission.
Oh, God. These are two of my all-time favorite performers. And I got to be honest with you, Aaron, until you said that, I never even thought about them like actually wrestling at the height of their careers. Oh my God, that's amazing.
That is a match I would have loved to have seen, because you got Mr. Perfect, you got Kurt Hennig, who again was one of the most sound wrestlers in that ring. Mm-hmm. He literally did, when you watched him, it was with perfection in that ring.
Oh yeah. Barely
ever would you see any kind of slip up or anything like that. And I tell you, one of my favorite things about Mr. Perfect is how that man sold.
Yeah,
I love how he sold.
That's one of the first things I thought of. Yeah,
like just picturing Taz throwing him, and it's like, how many times is he gonna roll and flip and bump after he lands?
Right.
That's the first thing I thought of. You know, like somehow he's gonna get head and arm Tazplex, but end up over the top rope after landing on the mat. You know,
right. Um, and to be honest, I would love to say Mr. Perfect gets the win with the perfect plex, but considering how tough Taz is, I think Taz kicks out of the perfect plex and is able to sneak in that Taz mission and get the victory over Mr. Perfect.
Yeah, and easily back in the day,
falsies all over the place in that match.
Oh yeah. But that's his submission back in the day was one of the most deadliest submissions, man.
Yeah.
Oh
like,
yeah.
It was just like when he locked that in, you're like you feared for his opponent's life. It was like, oh my god.
So the first thing I thought of was that selling. That selling is just going to be all over, you know. The second thing I thought of, and I'm glad you switched it up, was Mr. Perfect going for that perfect plex, but then Taz slipping behind him and just right there.
Yeah,
I was like, that'd be a great finish.
Oh man, yeah, that'd be beautiful.
God, that would be amazing. I love it. All right, Mike, what is your semi-main event?
I need to slow it down a little bit. I just had a lot of energy come back with RVD and Owen Hart. A lot of energy. I got to slow it down a little bit. So I'm going to slow it down with, I would say, probably two of the best technical wrestlers of all time. And that is one Dynamite Kid wrestling Dean Malenko.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. You don't think of Dean as that, you know, bruiser beat him up, but Dynamite definitely had that. But Dynamite was also a tremendous technical wrestler. These guys are rolling all over the mat. They're probably not even going to touch the ropes. Old school wrestling vet challenge of the week: don't touch the ropes. Horrible, hard thing to do in wrestling. Dynamite Kid's definitely getting that win, though. Dynamite's definitely getting that win, coming straight off with that headbutt.
I love this because, like, this right here is I envision this. This is like a tape trader's like wet dream come true. Like this matchup, like Dave Meltzer. Oh my God, he is. Oh, it's gonna be bad in his household. I don't want to clean up after nothing. That's a dream matchup if there ever was one, brother. So
yeah,
I love that. Like, and kids, just to put this in perspective, this is like, imagine like your Omega Okada or like even your Osprey and Pac. We just saw it all out. Like, that's how good of a matchup that would freaking be. Love it. Absolutely love it. Aaron, what is your semi-main event?
My semi-main event is a weaponized cage match.
Okay.
And Michael Wayne, I'm sorry, buddy. I'm stealing one from you on this, but it's not in the same gimmick.
Okay.
Representing the Attitude Era, it's going to be Mankind.
Okay.
And his opponent representing the Golden Era is one of the craziest brawlers you can ever remember. The Hot Scott. The Hot Rod. Roddy Piper.
Wow.
And pure heel Roddy Piper.
Yes.
That's interesting.
That's very interesting. So let me ask you this: with Mankind, are we getting like thrown off Hell in a Cell Mankind, or are we talking about Boiler Room Mankind? His best friend's a mouse.
We're getting Hell in the Cell Mankind.
Okay.
Only because that's our lovable baby face.
Right.
You know,
have that dynamic. Yeah.
I want Roddy Piper to be the dastardly heel we all remember him that he could be. Just hated for everything that he does. Even though it was so hard to hate Roddy Piper, like Roddy Piper was one of my favorites.
Oh yeah.
But that he had that side to him that I feel like he would have done well in a cage match like that.
Yeah.
Oh my God, he would do amazing. Like the punishment he dished out, and I just think of like the build up to that, the promos between those two. Oh man, Piper just like ripping apart Mankind, but Mankind just like pretty much talking about like, I'm going to literally put my body on the line to like maim you, Piper. Oh my God, that That's so beautiful.
That's two great brawlers too.
Oh, yeah.
Because there wasn't a technical bone in Roddy's body. Like Roddy was just loosey goosey, throw whatever at you. So him being in some sort of weapons match kind of thing is pretty perfect, and it's against probably the perfect guy.
Oh, I got it. Okay, you could build into this like tie-in like with like he goes into reality for Mick Foley and like tying into like how the cage match influenced him or whatever, right? And he's there you're in the cage and like you're finished. What if Piper goes for a coconut and like hits Mankind over the head
from the top of the cell?
Yes,
that would be amazing.
I have the finish though. This is the finish.
Okay.
It's going to be a match where those two are just going back and forth, nonstop. You cannot figure out who is going to get the upper hand until the Hot Rod finds some handcuffs.
Oh, yes.
And he handcuffs Mankind to the cage and leaves him hanging because that is the only way you can beat a man like Mankind.
Yep. You don't throw rocks at a man with a machine gun.
But by his heel tactics, Roddy Piper walks out with the victory. Or crawls out with the victory.
I hate exit cage match wins, but that's a good one. That's a good one.
That is a good one, though.
I'm not a fan of them either, because the thing about it is if you're in a cage match and you gotta escape, you're gonna want to climb over and you're gonna want to have that battle, that struggle on top of the cage. But how dastardly is it to handcuff your opponent to said cage and just wait, bye-bye, and walk out? And that's the kind of thing that would, in like 80s Memphis wrestling, that's the kind of thing that would get people trying to come over that railing to come after you.
That's amazing. Oh my God, that is a hell of a semi-main. But
the way I always looked at cage matches were that cage was there to keep you in and everybody out. When cage matches were that, big, massive blow off, I wasn't around for it, but I think of like those, 80s style cage matches where there was no door,
right.
And you just, everybody left just bloody, I never liked the exit unless it was a heel. A baby face going for the exit. No, the baby face should never want to exit them.
The baby face goes over the top.
At the very minimum. Minimum. But even then, they should want to keep them in that damn ring. But
yeah, you're right.
All right, Mike, it's that time. It is time for the main event. What is the main event of your show?
There's so many guys from both these eras that you could say is the GOAT. So many. Like, it's insurmountable, right? I told you before I cheated a little bit. This is the match I kind of cheated with. Not completely, but kind of.
Okay.
I had to go with the GOATs. Number 1 and number 2. Shawn and Rick.
Oh,
okay.
Hold on. I'm not done yet.
What?
It's the golden era versions. Because I'm having myself a fatal 4-way.
Okay.
I'm good. Attitude Era ended in 2002. It just so happened that these two following gentlemen started training professional wrestling in the year 2000 and 2001. But in said ring, it's going to be Shawn and Rick and AJ Styles and Bryan Danielson.
What?
Ooh.
Not only are they doing 4-way, though, they're doing 4-way Iron Man. Because,
good Lord.
I'm watching that match for an hour. I don't want that to end. That match does not ever need to end. It just doesn't.
What you've just done on this show, Michael, is the equivalent of one of the portals open up at the end of Avengers Endgame. That's what you've done, my friend. But that's okay. I love it.
right? You know, like it just
on your left.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
But like you know, we got to see Sean and Rick. You know, we got to see Sean and Rick. Maybe not at the year we wanted to see Sean and Rick, but we got to see Sean and Rick. We got to see Styles. We got to see Danielson, who are arguably, if you take and cut off wrestling at the year 2000, are probably the two greatest of all times. Just put all four in a ring and just, I'm not even going to book them. You guys choose who wins, and I'm going to walk out the room. That's all I'm going to do. I'm not telling them a thing. There's nothing I could tell them to make it better than what they're going to come up with.
Okay.
I like that.
So you have to watch it to figure out who goes over.
Okay. Wow. First time ever. I think that's happened on this show too. Impressive. Okay. Well, you know what? Leave us a comment. Tell us who you think would win.
Yes.
In the Iron Man 4-way. So, I'm gonna throw in since you opened up these multiverse portals here. I'm gonna ruin your main event and go off of one of your gimmicks, my friend. What if the Yeti came out? Just fucking ruins it for everybody.
All four of them are somehow standing in the ring, kind of getting ready to face off and do some sort of punches. Next thing you know, there's just around all four.
The end. Oh my god, that's amazing.
Okay, stand by. I got something here. Okay, be right back.
Okay, I got to see this.
He
Please
comes
tell
back
me
with a
it's
piece of Yeti memorabilia. I'm
Please
gonna
tell
cry.
me it's some sort.
No,
You're gonna
no.
You're gonna lose it. We were talking before we come on the air what you had to do to make that Yeti figure. Oh my god.
No. It's not the Yeti. I promise. I'm just trying to get stuff out here before my wall of pops fall out.
Ooh. Okay.
I have a ridiculous collection.
Okay.
Maybe not as ridiculous as some, but you know.
Oh, do you have like Funkos of all of them?
Not all of them, no, but I got a pretty good collection.
Okay.
It's getting ready to be a massacre here. They're all going to fall on me. Hang on.
Okay.
I was waiting for like boxes
just
to go.
A scene of Funko Pops comes
and
down.
then just from the background, just.
All right, I got what I need.
Okay.
I got what I need.
All right.
All right.
We choose that's got Funkos. Now,
so, my main event has to do with some of the wrestlers who've gotten the greatest pops in pro wrestling.
Okay.
And pops in more ways than one now.
Oh.
So, participant number one, the Macho Man, Randy Savage.
Oh, yeah.
This is 1989 Macho Man as he wins the WWF Heavyweight Championship in a tournament, taking on arguably one of the most over wrestlers in the Attitude Era. There he is.
Yeah.
So you have 89 Macho, who at WrestleMania 4 ended up having one of the greatest tournament runs anybody can ever think of. And hearing that place blow the crap up when he won that heavyweight championship versus the man who's done it all. He's done it all in the Attitude Era.
Yeah,
and I don't even think it's going to be a heel versus baby match. No. That's the thing. It's going to be baby versus baby. Who's going to get that louder pop? We're going to recreate Hogan and Ultimate
Rock.
Warrior.
See, I was thinking
and Rock. And Rock.
I was thinking Rock, Hogan Rock. That you know who they.
No, that's a good one. Yeah. Like Hogan Rock was good, but the first one was really Hogan and Warrior.
Yeah.
At WrestleMania 6. Again, WrestleMania 6 holds a lot to me.
Yeah.
Great show.
I'm old too.
I'm right there with you, bro.
Yeah.
I love the dynamic of this because easily, like Stone Cold, the face of the Attitude Era. I don't think you can really argue that.
No.
Macho Man, one of the most beloved characters of the Golden Era. Like his rise to the top is incredible. Like you're talking peak Randy Savage too, at the height of his game in that time frame in '88 and '89. Man, dude.
Yeah.
Macho Man was like, and this is also too. You're talking kind of a crazed Randy Savage, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
He went through it with his brother. You know, you had lust for Elizabeth. You know, so it's like this is the loose cannon Macho Man going against the Texas Rattlesnake. Oh my god!
And you're talking about. Sorry, I got my years wrong. That was '88 Macho that won the.
That's okay. We knew
that won the championship. Yeah. But '89 Macho and Hogan, the mega powers explode. I mean, good grief! Mm-hmm. That match I felt like would have been more worthy of the Sky Dome than Hogan and Warrior. I think.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
I agree.
It
was a good wrestling match.
Yeah. For the build alone. Yeah.
And Macho Man could really bring out some amazing matches out of anybody he wrestled. You know, one of my favorite matches of all time is, and I'm sure there's a lot of people that will agree, and I'm sure there's some that won't, Macho Man and Ricky Steamboat WrestleMania 3.
Absolutely.
I mean, that match had it all. It had the drama. It had the action. It had the falsies. It had it all.
One of my
arguably, I think is. Sorry, I said arguably, I think it's one. I've liked it better than Hogan and Andre.
Yeah. That's a fair assessment. Absolutely.
One of my almost matches was almost a recreation of the Macho Steamboat, but I was going to do Guerrero Steamboat.
Oh,
yeah, in that same style.
That would have been great. Yeah.
That would.
I like that.
Aaron, I got to ask you though, who would be going over between Macho Man and Austin?
The fans.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to show a little bit bias in this one because Macho was my all-time favorite. It's going to be Macho Man. Okay. After not one, but 2, maybe 3 elbows.
Okay. Gonna have to hit him with multiples, yeah, because just one ain't gonna do it. Just like one stunner's gonna beat Macho Man. So yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Wow. Well, gentlemen, you both have presented amazing cards. Like I look at these and I'm just like, oh my god. And Michael, I gotta give you kudos, bro. Like I've never seen anybody on the show like do the whole just like, all right, fuck the rules. I'm gonna change it up. And I love it though.
I was within the rules.
Like,
it was a stipulation.
That's true. You were technically, you're right.
You were bent a little bit, but you know, whatever.
Bent a little bit, but that's okay. It's okay.
It was when Austin got thrown out of the cage, like through the cage to beat McMahon.
Right.
Like, that wasn't what we intended. But I guess it worked.
But it worked. You know.
Yeah, it worked.
But I love that dynamic. I love the Dynamite Kid and Dean. The semi-main. That's incredible. Aaron, my gosh, both your double main events though. Holy crap. Piper and Mankind and Savage and Stone Cold. Whew. Then you got the Taz and Perfect, and somehow you made a blindfold match interesting.
Yes. Yeah.
Kidding.
Michael, I love your card too, but I mean the fact that he was able to pull off a blindfold match. I think I got to give the slight edge and say, Aaron, I think you win, my friend.
I'm still blindfold. Like I seriously want to make. I want to make a TikTok now and be like, who could make a blindfold match work? Here, leave your comment, and just see what people come up with now. Like,
please do.
That's just gonna be how I grade fans now. Who would make a good blindfold match?
You can make a good blindfold match. That measures the caliber of talent you have. If you can get a blindfold match over, then you're in the upper echelon of talent. Yeah. But seriously, both you guys, you killed it. Both of these were amazing cards, and I can tell you would definitely be getting my $50 and then some for each of these shows. So.
All right, I like it. Hey, if I can sell a ticket on it, I'm good.
I paid for wrestling in a long time. I would pay to watch that card.
Yeah.
Same with you, dude. I mean, honestly, that I feel like, and the thing is like, guys, I'm not lying when I say I'm doing this on a whim Because if you look at my screen here, can I flip my camera on this? I don't know if I can.
Yeah.
Hold on. It won't let me. Well, if you look here, I have the rosters pulled up.
Okay.
I have the rosters pulled up. I literally pulled most of these matches out on a whim.
That
You know
just
what I like
shows you his fandom, though.
You know what I really like about both our cards, though?
What's that?
We hit every point.
Yeah.
Tag women obviously was in there. We both have some sort of mind game match. We both have some sort of brawler match, a big man match, a high flying, a technical, and just a goats.
Yeah.
Like quite literally, we hit every point you could possibly want in a wrestling match.
Yeah. Yeah, this was
amazing. I thought both of our cards just hit everything. I'll tell you what, having that LOD pop at the beginning though, that's such a good way to go.
Yeah. Start them hot. You know, as long as we do our shows in the Tokyo Dome, I think we both got 6 stars.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, yeah, and like I told you earlier, man, that Dynamite Kid D. Malenko Meltzer is like never going to be the same again.
Yeah.
Right.
You know who? I'm actually almost more interested in as far as like usage. Who we didn't use. We didn't use Kurt, and we didn't use Hogan.
Which hey, anytime we're not talking about Terry Bollea, I'm all for that because y'all know my thoughts on him.
I get it.
So,
But you know what? If I'm going to make money, I'm going to bring the guy in. That's just the way that's going to be.
That's true.
Let's talk real quick. Let me look at this roster. You know, when you look at the Golden Era, because Golden Era ran through what 93.
Yeah, like 92 probably the best way to put it.
Yeah.
Because like 93, 94, 95 was that like new generation.
The new generation. Okay, so look at this. Like you got guys like the Rockers. Shawn Michaels, Marty Jannetty is a tag team. That would have been amazing. The Steiner brothers were a part of that.
Yep.
Toward the end of the Golden Era. Guys like Coco Beware. I mean, we could put Coco Beware in there with anybody, honestly. That man was awesome.
We didn't use DiBiase. That was another one I like really, No Guerrero. Brought him up, but No Guerrero.
Yeah.
Yep. We didn't use the Nasty Boys.
Oh my God. Yeah.
That's okay.
That's
how you really feel. No.
Yeah.
The physical locker room thanks us for that.
Gotcha.
Nasty wasn't a gimmick. It wasn't a gimmick.
Oh, Hillbilly Jim.
Yeah. That's another.
He would have been a good one to use.
Yeah.
Heck, Harley Race was in that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Harley would have been a great one to use. Andre.
George Steele.
Nobody used Andre. Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't use Andre. Yeah. We didn't use Earthquake.
You know what I think it is? If you look at it, and it kind of goes to our, obviously both of us being in the wrestling business, you can't find anybody on this card that someone wouldn't say that guy's a great worker.
Right.
100%.
You couldn't. A lot of people say that about some of the people we just named, not all, but some. Hogan. But yeah, they're all ridiculous workers. Every one of them. Everyone.
Yeah.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, my boss at my main job would have shot me for this one, but his favorite wrestler was Akira Maeda, right? And Maeda worked for WWE or WWF for a very short time. Mm-hmm. You wouldn't have been able to really use him in the context that we were. Yeah. But if you're doing like a greatest of all time type thing, that would have been a possibility.
I wouldn't at it.
No.
Yeah.
Big Boss Man. We didn't use Big Boss Man.
Oh,
yeah. Big John Studd.
We didn't use The Rock.
No.
Yeah.
There's no way. You think
Triple H.
Yeah.
And even doubling down on Hogan, NWO Hogan.
Yeah, that's true.
Right. Yeah.
Neither one of us used China as a female. Thank you again to the whole worker thing. That's another story.
I'm not gonna go there.
Yep. No Hardy Boys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, so I think what you're saying is we may have to do a part 2 to this.
I wouldn't cry about it. But we're not allowed to use anybody that was used collectively today.
There's the gimmick.
Oh gosh.
So, folks, stay tuned here in the near future.
Real deep into that bucket and pull out names.
I love it, man.
You might have me on the edge on that one. I don't know. Oh man,
that'd be rough. That'd be fun. That'd be rough.
It would be. That'd be really cool.
Well, like I say, gentlemen, you both did an amazing job on here today. Loved it. And as we always here on Fantasy Warfare, we got to close out with a plug of Palooza.
Yeah.
So, Aaron, you were the victor.
Yeah.
I'll go with you. Where can people find you, my friend?
All right. So, how quick is this going to air? Is the question.
Probably relatively by the end of the week. Yeah, because Dad Hat gets these up pretty quick. Shout out to Dad Hat.
Oh, all right, cool. So, Dad Hat produces these.
Yeah, this is on his channel.
Oh, heck yeah! What
Make
up,
it
dude?
difficult. Start swearing. Just start swearing.
All right. So, if you see it by this weekend, I got 2 big shows coming up this weekend that you can see me on commentary or in person. It's Gen X Pro Wrestling. The main event is NWA superstar Carson Drake taking on the legendary Larry D inside a steel cage that's live in Paris, Kentucky. Also on that card, that's actually one heck of a card. Let me pull that up just right quick. Yeah. Standing by. Let's see here. Generation X. There we go. So we got legendary Larry D and we got Carson Drake. Lord Cruz on the card.
Great work.
Ari Alexander. She's on the card. 2 graduates of the Nightmare Factory, Justin Xavier, Corey Calhoun.
Cool.
Zodiac the Mystic.
Okay.
Versus Big Bad Brandon Taggart. You might remember him from, it was about 2018, 2019. He got, or maybe it was before that, he got a shot with Evolve. And wrestled for Evolve for a short time. I think if he got an opportunity to go earlier, he might have been in the NXT realm. Honestly, kid was and still is good.
Okay.
So that's on Friday night. Then Saturday night, I'll be down the road in Richmond, Kentucky, for a group called Elite Wrestling Alliance, and that one is highlighted by Mr. By the Book Gaston LaRue versus big time, larger than life Ethan Heyer. If you've never seen Ethan Heyer work, that kid is amazing. He is under 5 feet, but his work, his personality makes him seem like he's 6 feet tall. That's the way he is.
So kind of like Taz.
So,
in that.
Yeah. Except he's a high flyer, and boy, he's got emotion. But Elite Wrestling Alliance, it's a good time down in Richmond too. So that's where you can see me live this week. And then I think I got another Gen X show in October at Augusta High School in Augusta, Kentucky, which is near Ohio. And then I can't announce it yet, but Next Gen Wrestling comes back sometime in a couple months. I'll be down in Knoxville for that. So that's where you can see me. You can see my commentary over on High Spots through Gen X Pro Wrestling and Next Gen Wrestling. How funny is that? But you can see my commentary there. And then I also work for a promotion called XCF in Southern Indiana at the arena, the world famous arena. Michael Wayne, have you ever been to the arena?
I've not. You said Southern Indiana? I don't think
Southern Indiana. It's in Jeffersonville. Yeah. It's worth a trip to see it just once.
Yeah. I think the only place I ever wrestled in Indiana was
you can easily drive by it and miss it several times.
Oh, you've done that, haven't you?
Yes.
And that promotion's owned by Shane Mercer. So Shane Mercer has a great group of guys there. So I love being a part of that group as well. And then you can find me here, of course, Aaron RKY on TikTok, on Instagram, Aaron RKY again. Find me on Facebook at Ring Announcer Aaron Rose, and I keep that up to date. Or if you just want a closer connection, send me a friend request and let me know you saw me here. So but yeah, that's where I'm at, and just trying to make a one big run at the wrestling world, and enjoying every minute of it. So
It's awesome, man. Like you're
Yep.
killing it, man. Keep doing what you're doing. We love seeing you, man. Michael.
appreciate it.
Oh, you're quite welcome, my friend. Michael, my friend, tell us where we can find you at.
Well, all my socials are literally somehow under. I'm never good at the pointing which way thing. It's right there. Yeah. All my socials are _Michael_Wayne. Mostly is my TikTok is where I do most of it. But you can find me on my personal Facebook page under the same thing. Instagram, X, all that sort of jazz, YouTube. As far as shows go, actually not this coming Friday, next Friday, the 20th. I think that's the 20th. Yeah. I will be in Kaukauna, Wisconsin for Frontline Pro, and we are doing I'm going to toot my horn a little bit and say probably one of the bigger collisions in the state that's happened in a while. Me and my now former tag team partner will be wrestling each other for the very first time in a singles match. In no holds barred. You walk away from him while he's getting his ass kicked, and he gets all pissed off and wants to hit you with the keyboard. So yeah, I will be in what's the name of the venue? The name of the venue is Maloney's, I think. Yeah, Maloney's in Kaukauna, Wisconsin. So that's where I'm coming up recent. After that, I don't know. I don't pay attention to my calendar, to be honest. I know the next show. That's the show I know.
Listen, I have to pay attention to my calendar because if I don't, I'm producing high school football for a company up here called Prep Spin. Which, if you find me on X, my name on there is Prep Spin Aaron, because I do a lot of production with them. As a matter of fact, in 2 weeks, I get to do an event called the Holy War. Lexington Christian versus Lexington Catholic. So, I gotta pay attention. I can't help it.
Well, needless to say, you both gentlemen are very busy guys, and thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule.
One more thing. OG, where can we find you?
Yeah,
it's true. Well, you can find me here, there, and everywhere. Of course, you can find me here on World Championship Wreckage as part of the Wreckage crew, as well as hosting here on Fantasy Warfare. Of course, you can find me over on Cole TV, where we got all sorts of amazing content coming to you weekly, including our flagship show, Pro Wrestling 60, where, of course, we always recap everything that happened in the world of professional wrestling every week. So, and of course, you can find me on the TikTok, the Instagram, all that jazz under XLJ the OG. Thank you, Michael. I almost forgot to plug myself, and I love a good Plug-a-Palooza, so thank you. But seriously, guys, thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule and joining us here on this episode today. We had a blast, and I think we're gonna have to run it back for part 2 on this Golden Era versus Attitude Era.
Let's say let's do a Survivor series where it's who survived after this.
Yeah,
like somehow my show was Friday, your show was Saturday. I know historically this isn't a nice thing to say, being that it was the Tokyo Dome, but a bomb drops, they all die. Who's left? Who survived?
Oh dear God!
So we moved to mainland.
Michael,
Korea.
hang on to your card.
Exactly. Yeah.
I got mine right here.
I wrote yours down so I can make sure to have the list of who we're not allowed to use.
Okay, we're gonna do it. So, and as always, please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button as well. Well, that's gonna wrap it up for this episode of Fantasy Warfare. Once again, thank you, Aaron and Michael, and we'll see you next time on another episode of Fantasy Warfare. Everybody take care. Bye.